Welcome from the home studios of Evike.com.
All right. Well, the good news is it's working this time.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's working this time.
We think. Airsoft Evike is live now. Oh, what do you know?
All right. So let's do this. As you can see from our page, we have Matt here, myself, and Airsoft obsessed Dave joining us from Northern California somewhere.
Northern California, it's Dave.
And I have Facebook notifications still. All right, let's close that. All right.
As you can see, I'm ready to go. I've got my Airsoft mags to defend my Airsoft castle with my Airsoft castle doctrine.
So we did our introductions. So how stir crazy is everybody getting right now? Matt's working on side hobbies. Dave is I don't know. He's just doing hand signals.
Yes, going nuts, trying to find things to do, going back, editing old photos, taking out every single airsoft gun that I own and play with it for at least a little bit. Clear the house, put it back, do it again, put it back, and again.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm just resorting to tactically throwing out the garbage and other things that around the house. Tactical mopping, nice. Tactical breakfast for kids. But it's. I think we can all agree that even though we've only, how long have you been isolated, Dave? Because you guys started before we did, I think, right?
Right. Well, yeah. So I worked, and a little over a week ago on Friday, we kind of got notice that, hey, you guys aren't coming back to work for like 4 weeks. So for me, it pretty much started then. Like once I was told that we weren't coming back to work, it was kind of like, okay, now it's real and time to get ready and do the whole quarantine isolation thing, which for me kind of really sucked because I actually came down with like a cold about that time. So
Are you sure it was a cold?
Yes, because I didn't have a fever. I was checking myself like 3 times a day, like, oh my gosh, I don't need the Rona. But
the Rona.
The Rona. Yeah, we should definitely call it the Rona going forward.
So yeah, I've been pretty much because not only did I have a cold, and anybody right now who's in public who like sniffles, sneezes, or cough is like, you're gonna get the death look. I pretty much started isolating from a couple Fridays ago.
Okay. Well, Matt and I basically we're going off the LA ordinance that was announced and followed by the statewide ordinance. So it basically, we were already kind of working from home off and on, but we were still able to come into the office every once in a while and film stuff. That is completely off the table right now. But the good news is that Evike.com online is still working and it is still shipping. We are just delayed on our shipping to 5 to 7 days. So people can still get their airsoft items for when they want to airsoft. When we're allowed outside again, they're going to have everything they need, and they're going to be so stir crazy that they're going to just play every airsoft event possible.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're not, even if you're stuck at home now is the perfect time to get that project started that you have been putting off for a better time. Well, there really is no better time than when you're stuck at home. So if you wanted to build a loadout or, test some stuff or build a gun, now is the time to do it while you're stuck at home and you don't have to worry about school or work or anything getting in the way. So yeah. It's nice that we're still able to get stuff out to people, even in this time, because there's a lot of businesses that haven't been able to stay open. So I think we're really proud that we're able to still help everyone.
Yeah, it's a pretty fortunate situation, but it's good to be able to, even if it's a little bit delayed, it is good to still be able to supply to the customers, to you guys, our fans. So anyway, other than that, we basically that's kind of what our whole office management team, our customer service, you, myself, everybody's been working from home for like a week and a half almost. So, and we're going to continue to do so up until all this is hopefully blown over.
Yep.
I mean, Dave, I know with your profession, I imagine that you guys are a little bit more skeptical in terms of when you'll be able to return, but at least you might be able to go outside soon.
Wait,
Yeah,
so actually I had a question about this for Dave.
shoot.
So when it comes to like, okay, so let's say, because there's a lot of rumors about like, oh, well, schools won't reopen until, the end of the year or next year or whatever. That means anybody, like, let's say you were in junior year. That means by the time school restarts, you're still a junior. You're just now 6 months behind, or whatever time period that is. You're just delayed now.
So obviously, like this is one of those things that's unprecedented. Like we don't have anything in our past to go off of, but all the information that we've been getting is that because we actually the Friday that we were told that we weren't coming back was the end of the third quarter. So for us, we had to turn in all of our grades and all that stuff. So what I've heard so far is that if we get to the situation where we will not be allowed to come back to school, that those third quarter grades would be kind of like the final grade.
Oh
Um,
no! So if you weren't doing so hot, you don't have a chance to redeem yourself.
Right. Well, and to go on with that is that we've kind of been instructed to continue. Like for me, I use Google Classroom, so all of my stuff is online anyway. So I've already put it out there that if anybody hasn't turned stuff in or was late on some stuff, like, hey, you've got nothing but time right now, turn it in. We can kind of fill in any of those gaps. But we've been like told specifically, we can't give anything new. Like we've been giving kind of like, I hate to use the term, but like busy work for people, but we can't give anything new because we're not there to kind of like back it up with actual instructions. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's, you get 4 weeks to make up your work, yay! But if you were like seriously behind, yeah, I don't know, because it's really like all the way around when you look at it from where I live in that school industry. Sucks for all the kids who like really care about their grades. It
Yeah.
sucks for those who are trying to make it into college or get those things going. And then it really sucks because, and this affects even like my daughter, they canceled all of the sports seasons. So all the time, all the work that all these kids put in is just like poof, gone.
Right. Right.
So
Sorry about that. That was just
Man.
quick. But I mean, one question is, so like a lot of students are doing remote classroom, but I imagine with your specific stuff, they can't.
we've had to get a little creative. Luckily we live in a time and an age like right now, everybody's pretty much got a phone with a camera on it. So I've been kind of able to, because I teach photography, that's what I do. In case anybody didn't know, that's my area. So I've been just kind of giving kids like some little activities to do around the house. Take your cell phone out, and just little things that I know they could do from either inside the house or like out in their yard without sending them out. And then we'll have like just kind of discussions about some photo related stuff, and that's about it. Just trying to keep things, kind of light, because if we're all just sitting at home, I mean, it kind of could get depressing really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's been the. Sorry.
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, with regard to like the stir crazy thing, like I know we talked about this yesterday in our meeting, George, but Dave, I was wondering, how are you doing like your normal schedule? Because for me, I'm still waking up and getting ready for work as if I was going to work, you know, changing the clothes that I'd be wearing at work. So I try to get through like my normal like activities of every day, even though like, yeah, it's kind of pointless if I'm not going out, but like I feel like I have to keep myself in that routine. Otherwise, I'm just gonna feel like, okay, well then what's the point of getting out of bed? And then you just become a lazy word.
I mean, that's one of the things that some people have done when they do work from home or telecommuting. They do that kind of mindset to get themselves in the work mindset. Myself, I am not one of those people. I'm wearing sweatpants right now, and just kind of lazily get up in the morning. So, but then again, I mean, I'm still waking up 7:30 because the kids are waking up at 7. So, it's not like I can sleep in and slack off. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do the same thing, and I think that's where like getting into editing some of my old photos has come in because, I'm used to being in a computer lab and we're working with photos, so I've been kind of doing the same thing. I mean, I'll admit I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning like I normally would, but when I get up, I take a shower, get dressed, come up, get on my computer, start going through photos and whatnot, and trying to keep some sense of normalcy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have been able to like go for walks, keeping in mind social distancing. But that's been kind of nice being able to get a little bit more physical activity in during the day. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if you lived anywhere around where you would see me in the backyard with this big old camera lens looking to take pictures of birds just to kind of keep myself from going completely nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of brings me onto this topic of how much I know that all three of us have different hobbies outside of airsoft, but I mean, how much are we all missing airsoft right now?
Yeah, big time. For me, you know, when the world is spinning as it normally would, you know, I have a very busy schedule. So when I get those days to get out in airsoft, like I really cherish those times because, you know, normally my work week is crazy scheduled, like literally to the last minute, Monday through Friday. And when I get a Saturday to go hang out with the boys and do it, it's like, man, like that is my time. That's the time that I really look forward to because that's the time that I can completely unplug from all the worries and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who are dealing with a lot more real world stress that really could use that escape from reality right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really isn't one of the things that I go to in terms of my first hobby as an escape from reality and escape to stop thinking. But I can definitely relate, you know, because all my other hobbies are also canceled or postponed or canceled right now. So I really am just stuck at home, you know, and you can only do so much. You can only mess around with your other hobbies so much. So it does make it kind of difficult, especially since my other hobbies that I can do here are not physical. So
Right.
that's definitely having an effect.
Well, for me, I mean, doing airsoft every day, you know, 5 to 6 days a week as a normal job, you know, I'm always around airsoft stuff, and for me that means I don't get a lot of personal time to put into my own projects, whether it's cleaning stuff or upgrading stuff or outfitting stuff. And so I've had I've had a great time the past couple days because I've kind of gone back through my arsenal and said, hey, you know, there's that one, I stopped using this gun because, you know, it needed a hop up or it needed cleaned or something, or, you know, I stopped using this one because of such and such. And so I've kind of taken an inventory of things that I have and have been able to put some time into kind of refreshing the inventory that I have and getting it all kind of game ready. Because yeah, like I'm so stir crazy and I haven't been able to run around and I haven't been able to, like, you know, do any of the stuff that we get to do really on a daily basis at Evike, like run around and play with guns and shoot stuff. So as soon as I'm able to do that, like everything I have is going to be ready to go, which is nice.
Yeah, I've also been getting back into my street skating too, since I can go into the street in front of my house. You know, I've been doing a lot of that, although being old and fat, like my knees and my feet hurt already after like 2 days. But what are you going to do?
Well, I mean,
Pain
you
is
know,
weakness leaving the body.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could. I see the photos. They're, you know, you're having some fun at least. You know.
Yeah, but I need like 3 days to recover afterwards. That's the problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, with one of my main hobbies being playing ice hockey and all the rinks closed right now. What I was just like joking, I'll go to Home Depot since they're open and buy a bunch of PVC and make a little net for the garage, but I'd probably end up putting some dents in the garage like I did at my parents' house when I was like 12. So I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I don't know. I mean, at least just something, you know, today I was able to get the garage cleaned out. I was able to move my cars, and then hopefully I'll do some shooting in the garage with the airsoft stuff today with the SMT gunpowder commercial grade retail, or sorry, the 32-inch target that we have on pre-order on our website. So we're going to test that out and see what happens. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my internet connection or what, but you're coming out.
It should be a little bit better now. I have Dave really good. I don't have Matt really good right now, but
Because Dave's all that matters. Let's be honest.
no, not true.
Sorry.
You know, this kind of ties into the same subject. But what are you looking forward to the most once the stay-at-home order is lifted? I mean, is that going to be one of those things, Dave, since your probably other activities won't jumpstart yet, that you'll just go to the airsoft field, you go to 559 immediately and play?
Well, yeah, you know, actually, because I help run Hill 559 Airsoft.59. In case anybody didn't know, I'm one of the guys who helps admin there. And we actually had to postpone a game, unfortunately, because it was landing right when the whole quarantine stuff was coming out, which, we really went back and forth a lot on it, but we just felt like it was in the best interest of public safety and everything. And now looking in hindsight, we made the right call. But, I will tell you, like, as soon as we're legally allowed to get together, we're probably going to throw like 3 weekends in a row's worth of games up there just to kind of like, flush all of that out of our system and get all the nervous energy out so we can, stuff like that.
What the heck?
It's just Airsoft gonna come out of nowhere.
Nice. He's been hanging onto that the whole time.
Yes, I have.
I just put my Airsoft gun in the background. That's I'm not messing with anything here right now. But that kind of came out of nowhere, Dave. That surprised me. I think you are going a little stir crazy.
Maybe a little bit.
What stinks is we actually, as a company, we were going to do some private airsoft time at Battle Lab. Literally the weekend the announcement was made, so we had to cancel that. And that was going to be a lot of fun. So we kind of were all a little bummed out about that. But hopefully something like that could be planned as soon as we get this order lifted, whenever that may be.
Yeah. I know. I was gonna say, like, I know because it's the closest field to us, and also happens to be our field. But I know we're gonna be hitting up Battle Lab literally the day the thing's lifted. Work or not, you hear what I'm saying, management?
Well, let's be honest. Like you said, Matt, you were, even when you're filming, you're working with Airsoft products, you're shooting Airsoft products. So it's, it is something that is definitely just being at home. Now you can only play video games for so long.
Yep.
Is there a cat coming in there?
Oh yeah. What are you crying for? Come on.
Anyway, so Dave, what kind of got you into reopening all of these old photo libraries and starting to publish some content that we've never seen before? As I look at Matt with his cat.
Stir crazy and boredom.
What are you doing?
Oh. Pull your control it.
Sorry, that totally derailed the.
That's great.
Well, no, it's just one of those things, like, looking for normalcy, looking for something in my routine. I'm used to working with and editing photos every day at work. So, I looked and saw I've got like 4 or 5 hard drives full of photos, and I'm like, you know what? I got nothing but time. Let's just start going through and, maybe re-editing or publishing photos that I never, got around to publishing the first time around. So it's been kind of nice taking a trip down memory lane. Sometimes it's like, oh gosh, those photos are bad. But,
here's a question then. Have you published any photos on your Facebook that you would consider bad?
Of course not. What are you talking about? They're on the.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad Airsoft obsessed photo.
Yeah, me neither. That's what I want to know. I want to know which ones Dave considers as bad, so I can rank them now.
Yeah, no, they certainly exist, but it's been a good self. I can go back and I can see how much I've grown because putting on my educator hat, you got to have that growth mindset. You don't want to be stuck where you're at. You gotta look to grow. So take that off. But yeah, I got some crappy photos. I'm not gonna lie. There's some bad ones, but there's some really good ones too that never got to see the light of day because I figure, how many photos from a certain event can you post before people are like, okay, no thanks, I'm done with that. So it's been kind of nice, like some of those Milsim West photos that I've kind of gone back from, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. Some of them were really cool, but like at the time I felt like maybe it was a little bit overkill, time to move on to kind of like the next one type of thing.
Okay, that's cool though. I've personally been enjoying the updates, like seeing really like stuff that, like you said, it's a throwback and it's a photo you never seen before. So it's kind of been cool from perspective.
Typically, if I go to an event, I don't ever leave an event with less than like 1,600 photos. So out of those, 1,600, I'll edit probably like 400. And then out of those 400, I might post 200. There's still a lot of photos that just like, they're there, but I don't know. I just kind of, I don't let them all go.
That's good. That's good. You hang on to them forever, I guess, and see what happens.
Spank bank material.
What?
I guess so much for keeping this stream PG, right? I mean, Airsoft isn't PG. Let's just be real. Sorry, I gotta stop laughing at that.
All right, let's get back on. On topic here.
Okay, so one thing that we wanted to talk about is what airsoft related activities are you able to do from home? We had one person post a video of them running on a treadmill in tactical gear.
Yep.
Obviously, so what? I mean, Dave, I know you said you're fondling your airsoft guns. Were you doing any work on them, or were you, or you just don't even touching them right now?
No, I had my LCT PP19. I had accidentally sliced one of the wires, so I've taken that apart and rewired it. On the Mark 18, the new one that you guys had was by King Arms. I swapped the inner barrel and the hop up for. I know it sounds like a product plug, but maybe it is that Max hop up unit.
Oh, those are great.
I mean, that is one of the best hop up units ever.
So yeah, I've done that, and then actually, my oldest daughter and I have been in the backyard doing like a little pistol competition with some cans and stuff to kind of pass the time too. So
nice. Well, we did that. We talked about it on our Instagram live stream the other day, where we talked about the 5-can challenge. So if you wouldn't mind filming the 5-can challenge and posting it up, I'd love to see how you do it. Are you familiar with the 5-can challenge, Dave?
We're setting up 5 cans and we're shooting them. Sounds pretty simple, yeah?
Yep, 6 inches away. So 5 cans, 6 inches apart, and you're 15 feet away. And then how creatively or quickly you'd like to shoot them down is completely up to you.
Okay. I think I can do something like that.
Right? Like we tried to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah. I'll have to throw some of my own flair in there.
Perfect. Got to do it like on a skateboard.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Oh, sorry. I think we actually lost George from the stream.
Oh, God.
It's just you and me now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, it's a tough situation because I want to run around in my backyard with a bunch of airsoft guns.
Right.
But
Yeah, and that's kind of been like the thing that I've had to grip with too, because where I live, my back fence is against the road, so there's a lot of people in the back walking back and forth on the sidewalk. So, I have a nice big backyard that I can shoot in, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want the general public walking by sort of hysteria, like, oh my God, this guy is, wigging out like that.
Same. I mean, like I like doing, because I've got the weighted plates. Like I would love to do exercising and stuff in my backyard with weighted plates. But if I'm walking around my backyard with weighted plates on, immediately one of my neighbors is a cop, and he'll be like, what are you doing?
Take that inside, bro.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm back. Hopefully,
where'd you go?
My internet just took a strange turn. I thought that your internet was going to be the first to go, Matt, but apparently it was mine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what we're
technology.
Having to do.
So, anyway, whatever I missed, I came into the conversation of Matt talking about running around with a plate carrier.
Yeah. Well, concerns over how much we can do outside with our neighbors not not having issue.
Yeah.
So now that I joined the callback, Mason, our producer, is going to have to make some changes to the screen layout because apparently I am Dave right now. Matt is me, and Dave is me, or Dave is Matt. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Never mind. He fixed it already. I didn't have to say anything. I don't know why I was
Okay.
talking about that. Really quick, let's see here. So we are kind of, forgive me. I know we kind of bounced around topic a little bit, but what do you guys think about where we're going to be at event wise once this ordinance is lifted, and once this crisis, this pandemic starts to subside? Do you think that there's going to be like a bunch of events and everybody's going to be selling out, or do you think that's going to take a while for airsofters to get back in the swing of things?
I think it's going to right away. I don't think there's going to be much of a lag at all. I think the only thing going to probably work against is too many people scheduling events at the same time, which might end up diluting the player pool. But I mean,
That's what I honestly, yep.
So much pent up, like, I don't want to say pent up aggression, but just nervousness and the desire to play. I mean, I see, like, from an airsoft player, it's going to blow the lid off the place. I mean, people are just there's going to be games left, right, anywhere you want to play. I mean, in fact, think of it as you will, but I've already seen people starting to post like underground games that they're trying to get in right now because they're so, like, they're jonesing for their airsoft fix, which I don't know if it's the best idea right now in this kind of climate with the pandemic and whatnot. But I mean, I don't think there's going to be any hesitation at all from the airsoft players to get back going again.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. I think there's going to be too many events trying to happen at the same time. Because everyone's going to want to jump on it immediately after it's back, right? So that's
look how many events were postponed. You have Airsoft Nation, you have, I think, a Desert Fox event, a Milsom West event, a Lion Claws event, I think an AMS event. So you could see all these events just all of a sudden be rescheduled for around the same time frame. And if any of them are in the same region, that could definitely have a massive effect in terms of how many people attend it, or who, like, even the quality of the game.
Yep. No, not to mention, all the fields will be reopening. I will say, I am positive. I have a positive thinking with regard to, like, different airsoft event companies staying in business. Because for many of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but for many of them, the airsoft game organization is not a primary source of income. So it's not like those companies are going to lose out as much, because if they aren't having an event, the event just gets postponed. Although with a lot of downtime, it does give people alternatives, I guess. So the difficulty will be trying to refine your niche if that niche has changed.
That makes sense. I would say that, I mean, my concern and my theory is actually not the event organizers in terms of the big event companies, because, like you said, most of them are kind of supplemental projects. But what I am concerned about is, there's some fields who already before all of this were having difficulties in terms of profitability, worried about them being able to pick up that player base immediately and just get back in the swing of things, or if they can handle a 2-month. I'm hoping that everybody can. It's just, there's no guarantees. I think fields with low cost of operating. I'm sure you can agree, Dave, that with Hill 559, it's pretty simple. It's not like you're really struggling, to get a player base out and to you're not looking to turn a profit and all that kind of stuff.
No, yeah, you're right. It's
so those places will be fine. I would think, if anything, it'll be some of the other places that were just having a harder time getting consistent people showing up at a field. They just put a lot of effort into remodeling or something. But, I think people in metropolitan areas will do okay, because people just, like, everybody will just flock to the field the first day it's open again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's going to bounce back so quick. I think this is one of those unique situations because everybody is being kept away against their will. It's not like people made the choice to go away, and I think that's with a lot of things. And I mean, it's luckily for the world of airsoft, it's not just specific to airsoft where people can say, oh, you know, I'm going to go take up biking or something else because I can't airsoft. It's everything. So you know, it's
Yeah.
not. I don't see people moving on to a different hobby or something else to do with
Right.
their time because playing video games, what else are you doing?
yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a comment by a guy named Estjan, I think. Estjan Lemony. He was saying that, you know, if you never had time to learn new teching skills or were curious about the inner workings of gearboxes, now is the time. I couldn't agree more with him. Like, you know, there's so many different facets of airsoft. There really is no reason to pick up a different hobby because there's so much for airsoft to offer beyond just like buying guns and buying, you know, kit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think too is you know, it gives everybody the ability. Sorry if you hear that. My garage is right below my kid's room. If you hear large thumping or loud thumping, sorry. But you have, you know, the ability to mess around with your kit. You have the ability to go through all your old stuff. You know, definitely like do stuff like that. I think is kind of more valuable as well. I mean, myself, I'm looking at my gear cabinet right now. It'd be nice to spend the time and reorganize it, and you know, go through some older equipment, maybe get it ready for the next trading post if that is going to still happen in June, or if not, maybe the next one after that. So you can kind of part out some of your old stuff, or you know, the teching angle is great. Like I don't personally really tech anymore, but you know, it is an opportunity to learn if you really ever wanted to. There's no better time than just take apart a gearbox and put it back together over and over again.
Man, talk about insanity. Just repeating the same task over and over.
So I actually have a good question for Matt, and this is I'm sure. So you know, Dave and I have a family, so we're around our family. You know, in terms of our kids, I'm talking about kids, not just, you know, other family. So we're dealing with them during this isolation. But for yourself, not, you know, is how are you dealing with the isolation in terms of being at home constantly? Because I know a lot of your hobbies were also, you know, going out to eat, you know, going out, doing things outside.
Yeah.
In terms of, it's got to be completely different than like for example, Dave and I just want to pull our hair out from our kids.
This is very true.
I have 5 cats. If you've never owned that many cats, cleaning up litter boxes takes hours of the day because you clean it and then another one goes, oh, it's fresh, and then they take a dump in it. And then you go back to clean, and I've got 3 litter boxes, so I'm just revolving, cleaning litter boxes all day. Jesus.
I mean,
beyond that, I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, so beyond that, like I've got some other hobbies that I work on. I do some stuff with RC cars. I build some off-road and on-road cars, and so I've been kind of driving those around when I've got some free time and we're not working. I've also got like a ton of projects I need to like work on around the house. I've got some stucco that needs repaired on the outside of the house. Luckily, I've got the materials for that. I replumbed my house a couple years ago. I went from the old black pipe to copper. So I've got some holes in some walls that I've just kind of put off patching up that I need to retexture. So I've got to do some drywall work. I got to do some wall texturing. I've got to do some painting. I've been able to go back through, you know, my attic and my basement and kind of clean through things and reorganize storage and stuff. I've got some work to do in the garage. I've got the M3 that needs an oil change and some work done. I've got to replace the rear diff with some better fluid, and I'm going up in terms of gearing. So currently it's got a 323 diff, and I'm going to put a 338 in it, which is going to make it terrible for highway driving, but driving around town it'll be fun and quick. So I've got a lot to do.
Well, if you run out of holes to patch, you could come over to my house and you could help me take out some 2 pieces of drywall to run this 240 volt down to the garage, and you can help me with that.
Oh, that's right. You got it.
Yeah. So
yeah, we got to do that too.
Yeah.
So it's just like stuff, I don't know, like I kind of looked at this whole thing as kind of a blessing in disguise, right? Because we all get busy with like life, like we all have jobs and school and other responsibilities, and that kind of puts off the things that we need to or want to do at home kind of to the wayside. And a lot of people rely on like their vacations to do that. But whether you're able to work or you're not able to work from home, it's right now is like a forced opportunity to take care of all those things that you put off because you had to, or put off because there were other responsibilities that needed to be handled. And so I'm just looking at it as like, another thing I need to do. Okay, so we're all dealing with sickness, and then I've got a freshwater fish tank that now all of a sudden my fish have decided to have an ick outbreak. So on top of me worrying about people sick outside, I got this damn tank full of all these fish covered in ick spots, and now I'm trying to whatever. I'm just complaining about things. Stupid fish.
I see Dave just kind of holding back right now.
Got nothing.
You got nothing? Well, you haven't gotten injured in softball lately, I hope, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. My daughter's softball was a 5-day-a-week operation, and we've gone from 5 days a week to nothing, and it's been kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's been weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, like Matt said, it's a good time to be able to, if you're home in the evenings or you have, time in the morning, all this stuff when you're not commuting and all that kind of stuff, or at least for me is, you can get some stuff done around the house, but at the same time, your significant other is bugging you to get things done around the house.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of nice being sick for a while because that was my excuse to just sit on the couch for
It's okay. I assume you're cool here. Like no one's gonna wreck
to get Corona on.
Well, so you were talking about, you were saying people were doing underground airsoft games. I think we lost our live stream. I think
we lost Dave.
No,
really?
Dave's here. No, Dave's here.
Oh, what the heck? Okay.
I think our stream cut out. But
awesome.
We'll see. Worst case scenario, we're recording this anyway, so once it gets published, we'll just kind of do our outro, and Mason can hopefully edit this out.
All right.
It's been such a challenge to get all of this working. It seemed like the Instagram one was so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Instagram is Mason says it's still going. We're good. I'll just keep going.
Okay, I just don't see the notification on Facebook anymore, but maybe my data cut it out or something. But on the last point, you said that there was people having underground airsoft games. Do you think that is socially acceptable right now?
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if people were being completely serious or not, but I've seen at least 2 or 3 instances where people, were trying to organize guys to get together and play. Which, again, I mean, most of us younger people aren't going to be too affected by the whole thing. But the one thing that, like, I keep in mind, because both of my parents are in their 70s, is that you don't want to take it home and give it to somebody else who, would not fend so well for themselves if they get exposed to it. So,
well, even our age group could be affected, based off of the newest research. There's people in their 30s and 40s who are having issues.
Right. I mean, it just kind of goes back to that old thing, like, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I mean, yes, it sucks. We all want to be out there. We all want to have fun. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm being completely serious, I don't want to be responsible for, losing a loved one just because, I needed to be selfish about something. So I think, I know we joke around a lot about all of this stuff, and a lot of people is like, whatever, the Rona. But, at the end of the day, the entire world is grinding to a halt because of this. And that's not because of any conspiracy or any political party or anything like that. It's because
yeah.
And I mean, if we're supposed to stay at home, or you're not having to go to work, it doesn't mean you go to the beach with 5,000 other people. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, when you're in trouble, if we just go to our timeout and we're quiet in our timeout, we're going to get out of our timeout a lot faster than if we're just sitting there, we keep giggling and talking and all that other good stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I hope that all of this blows over quick, but I think we all just kind of need to suck it up a little bit more and tough it out. And I think it'll be over sooner rather than later.
Well,
as long as everybody's like, this is what miffs me. If everybody just stayed home and instead of like trying to like, oh, well, maybe if I only go out or maybe if I only spend a little bit, if everybody literally stayed home, this would be over in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you wait for everybody to be, not contagious. Like you just force everybody to stay home. That's why I don't understand like the whole like, oh, well, stay home, but if you got to go out, it's okay. We're not really going to enforce. Like, you're sending two different messages. Either tell people to stay home or tell them it's business as usual. Because this washy, like, oh, kind of, for the greater good isn't working because people are selfish.
Well, I mean, like, so that's like my concern is where does it escalate? Like if it escalates and if only, or even worse, let's say California, New York, and Washington and the states that are having mandatory stay-at-homes orders, let's say all those get lifted, and then the states that didn't have it start having outbreaks, and then spill it over into those states that just had, kind of solved it, and just recycles itself all over again because not everybody's on the same page. I mean, that kind of sucks. Yeah. Hopefully it's not that, but, we'll see.
New York's got their stay-at-home right now, but they're still like, there was an article in the New York Times this morning about how they're like doubling their rate of infection like every day or something like that, or every week.
Well, it's going to happen. Doubling up too. I mean, the lack, getting more testing is going to result in more cases being confirmed. But yeah, no, I agree with you. But that's our somber note. We'll end on our somber note. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
Well,
for those of you that are just joining us that have missed the beginning of our live podcast from home, please know that while some of us are working from home or are stuck at home, we are still shipping. So if you do need something from Evike.com, there's going to be a delay, obviously, because of the Rona.
The Rona.
So we're looking right now at about a 5 to 7 day delay. But if you do need something for your Airsoft adventures, or if there's something else on our site that would help you get through this time more easily, especially for law enforcement guys, because we cater to a lot of you guys out there. If you guys need something, please feel free to visit our website, which is still up and operational, and we will do what we can to get things out in a timely fashion. Robots.
And for that, I want to thank Dave for coming on and being our test guinea pig on this first Facebook live stream, which we're titling Airsofters in Isolation. We plan to do some more of these. Anybody who wants to be a guest, any of the influencers out there who want to just have some fun, hit us up on our email.
Not Bob Lee.
Not Bob,
Not Bob
definitely
Lee.
Bob.
Bob's uninvited.
Only because he asked to be in it.
Well, he actually just joined this live stream, so this is perfect that we're talking on him right now.
He's like, oh, if you guys do an insert, just put me in it. Not you, Bob.
All the comments right now from Bob are all at you, Dave. Just so you know, you can look him up later. He's asking what happened to your beard. And you guys can argue later, I guess. But anyway, anybody wants to come on the stream with us, let us know, and we'll try to do this 1 to 2 times a week. No schedule. We'll try to announce at least a few hours in advance, and we'll post all the VODs or after the live stream in case you missed anything to listen.
And when possible.
So again,
when possible, we're still going to be trying to do AMAs and stuff on Instagram. So if that's your preferred. That's your preferred platform, then check us out on Instagram. Make sure you follow Dave's Instagram because he's always uploading interesting content and photos and stuff. And he leads a really interesting life, even though he's stuck at home right now. So
yeah, he's doing all these cool things. He's at all these airsoft games that were a few years ago. He's in the past, but he's
time traveling. He's time traveling.
So
yeah. My DeLorean still works.
Anyway, thank you, Dave, for joining us. And we will go live again at maybe later this week, if not, maybe next week. And just stay tuned to all of our social media platforms. Follow Matt on his Instagram at Evike.Matt, and hit him up just because, Matt's bored and definitely wants you to PM him messages constantly.
I'm answering them as quickly as I can, but I feel like I'm missing a lot. So
I don't have any personal social media for you to spam. So because I never check my Facebook page, that's Airsoft Events George. So anyway, we will be live again at a time later. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Stay safe.
Yes, stay healthy. Stay at home.
Yeah, stay home.
Stay at home.
And now I can finally get off this bar stool or my workbench chair. Oh.